Crisis in collecting. After receiving the Sideshow General Grievous 6-scale figure, the absolute worst figure in the history of 6-scale collecting, the Mandalorian swore off Sideshow figures altogether. But it's now been several years and time heals all wounds. With the release of the Ahsoka TV show series, the Mandalorian has decided to give Sideshow another chance with their new Ahsoka Tano 6-scale figure. Will this figure be a breath of fresh air or another grievous mistake? We will soon find out.
Why are you talking like that?
Talking like what? What's up, Hyperdrivers? Today I have my first Sideshow 6-scale figure unboxing in quite some time. And it's none other than the Ahsoka Tano 6-scale figure based on her look from the Clone Wars animated series. This is a $260 figure that you can pick up at Sideshow plus shipping, but I grabbed this one over at Bits and Buttons, the best toy store in the Plantation, Fort Lauderdale area. So if you ever are down here in Fort Lauderdale and you want to check out a toy store that will transport you back into your childhood, make sure you check out Bits and Buttons. They got some really cool stuff there. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, George, why would you subject yourself to more Sideshow punishment after that god-awful General Grievous figure? Well, the short answer is, I'm a glutton for punishment.
We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life.
No, but to be honest, I am really loving the new Ahsoka TV show series. I'm so hyped over that show. So when I saw that the figure was released and they had it over at Bits and Buttons, I figured let me pick this thing up and see what it looks like. So let's get to it. All right, so let's take a look at this box. I'm really liking the box art on this. You got Ahsoka there from the Clone Wars. It's the more animated look, and you got that purple kind of background going on. Looks like possibly Coruscant or another alien planet. You got, looks like kind of like a ship here in the top right, which is kind of neat. You roll around the side and you have some more of that same aesthetic, and then you have a look at the figure on the back. All right, so pretty simple box, but I like the art, digging that. I like it much better than just the standard black look that we get from like Hot Toys or like the other 6-scale figures that we've gotten from Sideshow. Let's pop that thing open. Looks like there's no art that, you know, to cover the figure. It goes right to the figure. So there is the Sideshow label. Looks like it's covering the clamshell. All right, let's take the clamshell out. Just pull the whole thing out. All right, here we go. Yeah, it goes right around the whole thing, so you're gonna have to slide that out. So you just slide it out like this. Glad I didn't pull on it. All right. And then we pop open the clamshell. Let's see what we get in here. There's 2 layers. There is your back right there, so we'll get to that in a second. We'll start off with some of the accessories that it has. So first up, you got the lightsaber, one of them. This is her Clone Wars lightsaber. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty much accurate to what I remember in the show. You got her smaller Shoto saber, which is right over here, and very difficult to get up because it's very tiny. There is the Shoto lightsaber. All right, looks good. You got a communicator, which looks like possibly Captain Rex right there in the communicator. Okay. And then you have a couple of blades. You have the lightsabers by themselves, but then you also have the lightsabers, the same lightsabers, but with the blades installed. And they're supposed to be a green color, and one's supposed to be more of like a yellow green, but they both look kind of like a lime green color. So there's no real difference in the color of the blades, even though I think they should be, if I remember correctly. Before we get the figure out, let's look what's in the second layer here, and then we'll get to the figure. Save the best for last. I got the hands flying everywhere. Okay, so you got several hands. All of them are pretty small, and they got very small peg holes. So you check out that. That's very tiny. All right, very delicate. So you got one hand like this, looks like to hold the lightsaber. You got another one on the opposite side for the exact same thing, to hold the lightsaber. All right, you have some like forced hands, so like just straight out pushing. Very well painted. You can see the fingernails in them and everything. Did a nice job on that. So as far as the design and art looks, it does look really good. There's no articulation in the fingers or anything like that. It's just a very soft plastic material, like vinyl almost. But nicely done. I think they did a good job with that. Okay, so you got some hands like that. You have, I hate these. You have the crotch grabbers. I like waist grabbers better, but that's what comes with this. And then you also have the base, which says Star Wars on the bottom. It's got kind of like a textured feel to it. It's smooth, but it's not like a gloss smooth. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. So that's what you got there, and it says Star Wars on the back. All right, also plastic. All right, let's get to the main event, which is the figure herself. Let's pop her out of here. Okay, I like that the plastic comes off real easy. You don't gotta fight or take and rip anything, cut anything. It all comes off really, really well. And you have some plastic covering her arms, so that's cool. So she looks very, very pretty. I think they did a really nice job with the look of her. Has the animated look, which I like. It's got nice vibrant colors to it and everything, which is really, really good. You can see where this can possibly feel a little bit more like a toy or like a doll, you know, to maybe some people who want to take an order of this one, just because there's a material aspect to her body. She has kind of like squishy legs. This is very, very soft and pliable, and then the same thing in the arms. It's very soft. But here's a close-up look at how the figure looks real quick. She is gorgeous. They did a great job on the paint. I really like how that looks. Love the tattoos on her face and everything. The orange is the right color, which looks good. The material of the outfit feels a little bit like a Barbie doll, kind of, you know? But, you know, that's just that. And the rest of it has more of like a vinyl plastic going on and everything. Nice design in the boots and in the legs right there. As far as articulation goes, she has lots of articulation in the head, got lots of ability to turn the head around and everything, which looks really great. I like that. You can spread the arms out pretty far. You can go forward about that far with the arms, all right? You got double joints in the elbows, but it does pinch the skin a little bit, so might want to be careful with that. The wrists are super skinny, very, very delicate. So this is definitely going to be something that I'm going to be afraid about when I go to swap out hands. We'll give it a try when we start to get to posing. As far as the waist goes, she has lots of movement in the waist. You can bend her all the way forward like that. You can go all the way back like that. There is lots and lots of flexibility in this figure. So there's going to be, I think I'm going to get some great poses out of this possibly. She can stand anyway. You got leg movement like this. You can go forward. You do not have any twist action whatsoever in the thigh, and that's because of that squishy material that they're using for the legs and everything. So there's that. There is double joints in the knee, okay? And again, there's no movement, no way to twist the ankles or the, not the ankles, but the calf area. The ankles do have a little bit of manipulation that you can do there, a little bit of pivoting that you got. But they do feel loose. There's absolutely zero clicking, so there's no locks for the arms or knees or anything. So it's gonna be interesting when we go to pose it. But let's do that. Let's see what this thing looks like in some poses. All right, so there is my first pose. So as you can see, I got the display stand out. I'm not somebody that likes to use a display stand, but it's a Sideshow piece after all. And unfortunately, the ankles are not strong enough to even keep her standing upright. She kind of just tips over on her own weight. That's something I've come to expect from Sideshow. So I'm not really surprised about that. I do like the art design of it though. I think it looks really, really nice. I think a great job with the paint work on it. I love the choice of material for the clothes. I think that came out real nice, and I like the choice of material for the body. I think the body feels real good, and I like the posability of it. So I think it's gonna do well with other types of poses. I'm gonna bring out Rex here in just a little bit, but this is the first pose that I pulled out, and I think it came out pretty good. Check it out. Here's how she looks with the Hot Toys Captain Rex figure. I just wanted to get this one real fast for you guys so you could see how it would look. She's actually already fallen on me twice, so I'm definitely not gonna be able to show this for too long. She might fall again. I think she poses really well with him. She definitely is shorter, so that works, just like she looks in the animated series. And then, you know, even though he's more realistic looking, I still think he pulls off pretty well alongside her. So you have that option as well if you already own that figure. All right, so don't even ask how I pulled this one off. I'm still kind of amazed that I was able to get her in this pose. So it's kind of a fighting combat pose, very dynamic. Definitely not something that I would keep her in. I just wanted to see if I could actually pull this off. But it looks really cool, I think. So she stands pretty well there with Captain Rex again. So I'm digging it. All right, let me give you my final thoughts. So if I'm giving this figure a rating, it's gonna be a 7 out of 10. It's a really nice looking figure. As far as the look of it, I think Sideshow knocked it out of the park with the design. It looks very pretty, looks just like Ahsoka from the TV show. By the way, this is my final pose right here. Her looking crossed with her hands crossed, very stoic. I like that. Got the lightsabers clipped in there also. They just clip in. There's no magnets that hold it in place and everything. Where I take points away from on this figure is the body, which we've all come to expect from Sideshow. It's pretty sad that we're now in 2023 and they still refuse to upgrade the body on these figures that they're selling, and they sell them at the exact same price point as the Hot Toys. So, you know, if you're going to play in that kind of ball game, then, you know, you need to step it up and start to improve on your designs of things. The body on this figure is just as bad as any of the other Sideshow figures. The ankles are very weak, so she can't stand on her own. And I, you know, can probably assume that eventually the arms and everything else will become loose as well. As far as the skin choice that they went with, it's got that rubber-like material. So it's definitely something that you don't want to take and pose in a situation like this, is because, you know, the wireframe beneath kind of sticks out, and I think eventually might tear the material. So that's something to look out for as well. With all that being said, though, I really like this figure and how it looks. So I think I'm happy to have this one in the collection. It's definitely a nice improvement over what I got with the General Grievous. But that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about this figure in the comments below, and what you're thinking about the new Ahsoka TV show series. And until next time, may the Force be with you.